let's talk about She-Hulk episode 2 Superhuman Law. I really liked this episode. It was short like I mentioned before, but I thought it was a great way of bringing She-Hulk into her own. We I love the way that they dealt with the end of episode 1 when Titania came in and She-Hulk saved the people and saved the jurors from the bench that she threw at them, and how that got her fired because it was biased. The jury was seen as biased to them winning the court case. I thought all that played really well. Her getting accepted into this new firm that she was actually were actually the opponents that she was facing off against in the first case. I thought that was really great. I loved bringing Emil Blonsky back. I thought the way that they played this was fantastic, especially how he kind of made his case, and he actually made a really compelling case. How he was like, hey, like I was working for the government, I was under orders, they pumped me with this stuff, and then it just took over me. Like I didn't have any control. I believed him. I felt bad for him, and I've never felt bad for Abomination. So that was really good. And Tim Roth's performance I thought was fantastic. I liked the little Bruce cameo that we got in this episode as well when he's talking. I mean, you knew they were gonna have a joke like this, but when he tells the joke of, oh, Blonsky, that's all behind me. I'm a completely different person now. I mean, it was you knew it was coming, but it was funny. It played really well. And then the reveal that he's actually on the ship taking him to Sakaar, that was an interesting reveal. I don't know where they're going with that. I've seen people online saying World War Hulk. I don't know enough of World War Hulk to say if that's where they're going or not, or what I think they're doing, but I really thought this episode was pretty solid. I love the family dynamic we got with Jennifer Walters at the beginning of the episode. And overall, it was just a fun episode, but it was like 20 minutes long. It was not a long episode. And the ending, the tag of it, where they showed Abomination and Wong fighting, like we saw in Shang-Chi in that underground tournament, that led right into episode 3, Emil Blonsky versus the people. I thought this episode was gold. I really enjoyed this episode. This episode is where I felt like they really started to have fun with the MCU. Like I wanted to see this show have fun with it. I loved the B plot of this Asgardian elf that was shapeshifting to look like Megan the Stallion, which this might be, you guys might get mad at me for this. I had no idea who Megan the Stallion was. This is the very first time I've ever heard her name. So I didn't know if it was a made up character or what was going on. But regardless, even though I didn't know who she was, I thought that this B plot played very funny. I loved everything about it. I loved when the elf was in the courtroom and she was given Thor's speech of Asgard is not a place, it's a people. And the judge was just like, Thor's speeches, they're not allowed in here. They're not going to get you out of this mess. I thought all of that played really well. I love the way that they brought Wong into this episode as well. I thought that was really good. The way that he admits that he broke out Abomination against his will, which does it's interesting that it doesn't look like it was against his will in Shang-Chi, but he does willingly go back to his prison cell. So I guess there's some truth there. And of course, the end tag on this episode that everyone's talking about when She-Hulk gets down with Megan Thee Stallion and they twerk. So many people are up in arms about this. I mean, it was funny. I chuckled. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed the bit. It was a post credit scene. It wasn't really like in the episode, so I was fine with it. Overall, they did introduce a mystery though into the final episode when we have this wrecking crew, who mugged an Asgardian construction worker. I thought that was kind of funny going after She-Hulk, and they're trying to get like her blood. It looked like they were trying to pierce her skin with some needle, and they're saying like, "Oh, the boss ain't gonna be happy about this." So who's the boss? I feel like it's the leader, right? Because that's also an end that wasn't tied up at the end of the Incredible Hulk. So I feel like they're bringing that character back, and I feel like it's very likely that he's the boss character that they're talking about. But overall, I think episode 3 is where She-Hulk. That's what I'm looking for out of this show. I thought it had a lot of fun with the MCU. I had a lot of fun with the world. It was actually a really good runtime too. It was only like half an hour long, so it worked really well for the runtime. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the rest of the show goes. What did you guys think of these last 2 episodes of She-Hulk? Did you enjoy them? Is the show not working for you? Comment down below. Let me know. I'd love to hear all your thoughts and opinions. And without further ado, let's take a look at what you guys are saying.